The shame is not on those calling for a ceasefire in the face of such atrocities. It haunts those refusing to do so. Israel's objective is clear. It is to force people out, and regardless how many times some say it will not happen, everything confirms we were right from day one. This is Netanyahu's war. This is the war of the extremist coalition in power in Israel. No one should get sucked into it any further. Its aim is not security. Its aim is to prevent forever any prospect of Palestinian independence and of peace. These intentions are clear in the Gaza Strip as well as in the West Bank, including East Jerusalem. Show us respect, not in words, but in deeds. Show us respect to our lives, to our rights. This is a moment in history, one where everyone will be asked where they stood, and that will determine who they truly are and what they really stand for.
A ceasefire means that the suffering of all will carry on. A ceasefire cements Hamas's control of Gaza. But even more than that, calling for a ceasefire sends a clear message that Hamas is forgiven for their deliberate atrocities, and Hamas's oppression of Gazans is given a green light by the international community. Hamas, like any other entity, only responds like any terror entity, only responds when its existence is threatened. And without the military pressure applied on Hamas, no amount of diplomacy can secure the release of hostages. Is this what the Council desires? That Hamas continues its reign of terror forever? That the hostages, among them women and children, never leave Gaza? Hamas won't even permit the Red Cross to visit them. Hamas has a clear script. If you call for a ceasefire, then you are following it. Hamas knows that it cannot defeat Israel on the conventional battlefield. This is why Hamas targets the murders civilians. They seek to terrorize Israelis and drive us out of our homeland in fear. It's easier to pressure the law-abiding democracy as opposed to the terrorists who don't even recognize the existence of international law. But is this the right and just way to ensure security? Of course not. This is Hamas's script of death. Don't agree to be part of it. Please. Hamas is the root cause of the situation in Gaza, yet there is zero accountability for their evil.
I will now submit to the vote the draft resolution. Those in favour of the draft resolution in document S/2023/970, raise your hand.
En contra.
Against?
Abstenciones.
Abstentions?
El resultado de la votación.
The result of the vote is as follows. 13 votes in favour, 1 against, 1 abstention. The draft resolution has not been approved due to the veto of a permanent member of the Security Council.
The United Arab Emirates is deeply disappointed with the outcome of today's vote. Regrettably, and in the face of untold misery, this Council is unable to demand a humanitarian ceasefire. Let me be clear. Against the backdrop of the Secretary General's grave warnings, the appeals by humanitarian actors, the world's public opinion, this Council grows isolated. It appears untethered from its own founding document.
If any of our own countries had been attacked in this way, we would all expect this Council to reaffirm our right to protect our citizens. Perhaps most unrealistically, this resolution retains a call for an unconditional ceasefire. I explained in my remarks this morning why this is not only unrealistic, but dangerous. It would simply leave Hamas in place, able to regroup and repeat what it did on October 7. As long as Hamas clings to its ideology of destruction, any ceasefire is at best temporary and is certainly not peace. And any ceasefire that leaves Hamas in control of Gaza would deny Palestinian civilians the chance to build something better for themselves. For that reason, although the United States strongly supports a durable peace in which both Israelis and Palestinians can live in peace and security, we do not support this resolution's call for an unsustainable ceasefire that will only plant the seeds for the next war.
We call for further and longer pauses to get aid to Palestinians and allow space for further hostage releases. But we cannot vote in favour of a resolution which does not condemn the atrocities Hamas committed against innocent Israeli civilians on the 7th of October.
We express great disappointment and regret that the draft has been vetoed by the US. 2 months of fighting has already caused unprecedented deaths and destruction. An immediate ceasefire is the overriding prerequisite. On this issue, any negative attitude is untenable, and however much justification remains feeble, it needs to be pointed out that condoning the continuation of fighting while claiming to care about the lives and safety of the people in Gaza and the humanitarian needs there is self-contradictory. All this shows once again what double standard is.
Our colleagues from the USA have literally before our eyes issued a death sentence to thousands, if not tens of thousands more civilians in Palestine and Israel, including women and children, and also UN staff that are trying to help them. History will judge Washington's actions. One can speak cynically with nice empty words about democracy, human rights, women, peace and security, rules, order, as much as you like. However, the real value of those we have just witnessed when 2 members of the Security Council preferred to remain complicit to the merciless Israeli bloodbath. I am saying this not in order to shame our American colleagues. I am confident that the outcome of our vote has resounded painfully in the hearts of ordinary people in the USA and the United Kingdom, whose calls for peace and common sense have gone unheeded by the ruling elites of those countries.